great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of need.
Welcome back to the Immigration Answer Show. This is episode 778. It's the 5th day of Ramadan, the 5th day of March. Man, my hair looks funny. I'm trying to grow it out. I'm tired of keeping it short. I'm going to grow it out. How's everybody doing? I started a little bit early today. What do you got to say about that? I'm trying to keep you all on your toes. Those of you in TikTok land, those of you on YouTube. How's everybody doing? What's going on? What is going on? I'll be here for the next hour to answer as many immigration law related questions as I can. Might even go a little bit long since we started early, but you never know. Did you guys watch that clown show last night? I did not. I like to be happy, so I didn't watch that fool talking about all his nonsense. And it really is nonsense. So much of what he's peddling is just complete bunk. Let's do a roll call. We haven't done roll call in a while. Roll call for those of you on TikTok. We say hello and shout outs to everybody in the comments over on YouTube. Traylene, hello. Kwaku is here. Audrey, hello. Traylene has a nice Ramadan message. Thank you for that. Must See is here. Yulin, we will post the, let's see, he might not be here yet. I will post the invite to the waiting room. Copy. Here's the link. All right. Who else is here? Let's see. We got Hope in the house. Lindy is here. Nurse Laura is here. Okay, now for those of you, I wanted to make sure that Nurse Laura was here because I saw something. I think that the what's the name of that company that owns Taco Bell? I think it's called like Yum. That's it, Yum. Yum must be watching this show because they have come up with, are you guys ready for this? Are you guys ready for this? They have come up with a Taco Bell wedding package for their new, they have a new double-decker Taco Bell in Vegas. And for $777, you can do a wedding with a party at Taco Bell in Las Vegas. You have to get your own marriage license. You have to bring a guest. You can bring 25 guests and you get a taco 12-pack and a Cinnabon Delights cake. You have 30 minutes of access to the chapel for your ceremony. And then there's an FAQ. Here's what you get. Wedding swag, the unique Taco Bell chapel, a reception area, and a one-of-a-kind bouquet. I mean, they really need to give Laura credit for that. Don't you guys think? I think they do. That's just insane. And it made me laugh. And when I saw it, I, of course, thought of our favorite Seattle nurse, Nurse Laura. All right. Let's see. Roy is here in class as usual. Tony is here. Ashraf, Sanjay. Hello, Sanjay. You got Searing. I said Searing early. Natalie. Amefetalu is here. Foysal. S. Charles. Felicia. Ish is here. Donna's giving big ups to all the Yardies. So that's always going to make us happy whenever Donna's here. Starboss can't find a joint sponsor and got an RFE. That is a tricky situation. Got to keep looking. Otherwise, the case is going to be denied. AJ watched the Knicks game. I bet that was a good game. I don't know who won. Mehdi is here. Wants the link. Laura said, hell no, I watched a lady grooming puppies instead. Smart Whistling is here. Mail Shop. Serena. Alejandra. Hugar. Emmanuel. Oh, yeah, today is Ash Wednesday, isn't it? Today is Ash Wednesday. I saw the mayor of Boston was testifying, and she had the ash on her forehead. And, of course, they were being mean to her and bullying her along. All right, let's go ahead and get started and talk to Not So Sunny. Hello. Not So Sunny, are you there? You're on mute. We'll come back to old Not So Sunny. Let's go to Nora. Hello, since we started early. Nora, are you there? Hi, Nora.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, Jim. Good
How
morning.
you doing?
Thank you. Thank you for accepting my phone call. I appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, a quick question. So I'm filling out my N400 right now, and I hope that I can submit it today. But there's a questions that about my husband, my spouse, that says about his company, where he works, whether he's employees or not, and that those questions never came out. But when I reviewed it, the questions came out. So what should I do?
Um, what do you mean? I don't understand. What's the problem?
So the problem is when I was filling the application, those questions never came out. So I never answer anything about that questions.
Oh,
But
you
then
mean
when
they're all blank? You mean you filed? Did you file electronically, or you just didn't fill them out?
online,
Yeah.
online, and then when I reviewed it, and the question was there, and then one of the questions even has answered that my spouse is unemployed, which I never said.
Okay.
So,
Well, maybe it glitched and clicked that box, and so then there wasn't anywhere to put in where he works. So I want you to go on my YouTube channel and look up the phrase errata sheet, ERRATA sheet, errata sheet, and you can rewrite those answers. You want to write out the question and the answer,
mhm.
and you want to do that, and so that way, and then you bring that with you to the interview, and you hand it to them at the start of the interview.
Okay. Can you please repeat that again,
Yeah,
Jim?
here I'll write it out. It's
Okay.
ERRATA. If you do a search on my YouTube channel for that word, it'll come up and it'll tell you how to do it.
Okay. 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 Thank you so much for that, Jim. Have a
It's
nice
not it's
day.
not a it's not a big deal, Nora, either way. So don't worry about it. You could
All
correct
right.
it there. You could
All
correct it
right.
there, but this is better. All right, see ya.
Okay. Thank you so much. Bye bye.
Okay, bye. All right, let's go to Angela. Hello, Angela.
Hi, Jim. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Sure.
Yeah, so I actually had called in almost exactly a week ago, last week, and I had asked about instead my spouse's case where we're still waiting to hear back from the U.S. Embassy in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria. So you had recommended that our best option was to sue them, and it forces them to get back to you in like 60 days and
Mhm.
give an answer. But funny enough, after that call last week, the following day, Thursday last week, they came back asking for more information. So they wanted evidence that I'm now here in the US because their initial concern when my husband had his interview was that I was still living in Nigeria with him, even though I had said I'll relocate once he got his approval. So they wanted to see that I had actually relocated back here, and then they could now process his application or to give a final answer. So they're now asking for more information. They wanted a stamp on my US passport showing I'm in the country. They also wanted to see my boarding pass. They never mentioned all of this when he got the administrative processing, when they gave him the form and what he should send back. All they had asked was, I guess, evidence of my tickets relocating back and evidence of like a lease agreement. So I never kept my boarding pass. So that was one thing. So it's thrown away. It was a paper boarding pass. And I guess being a US citizen, they don't stamp your passports anymore. They only just scan it. So we
Right.
had to write the letter. So he wrote the letter to them. He answered them back by on Monday, letting them know I don't have a stamp on my US passport. But here is the exit stamp on my Nigerian passport leaving the country. And then also I got a letter, it's called a travel certificate from the airline showing that I was on the passenger list since I don't have my boarding pass anymore. Then we also added other things like I did an affidavit where it was notarized showing that okay, I'm in the country. I came in on this date. My passport wasn't stamped, but was scanned. And here's where I'm living and all of that. So it was notarized. So ideally, if it's notarized, our thinking was it shows that I'm here in the country because it's showing here someone looking at me and notarizing the document here in Houston, Texas. And then also, we also sent in the apartment complex I'm in was willing to write a letter or sign a letter I gave them indicating that I moved in on this date and
How
I've been
long
living
ago?
here.
How long ago did you come back to America?
I came back 29th of December last year.
Okay.
So the apartment complex signed a letter saying that I'm here, I moved in. And then we also gave them my lease agreement because I got a car lease. So a lease agreement, my health insurance. And so we gave them all of this, and he just sent it to them on Monday. We are
Okay.
wondering if that's okay, because I don't have a stamp like they were asking for on the passport, and I didn't have my boarding pass like they were asking for. Do we think that's okay, or is there anything else additionally we should be trying to do
I think
to
you
prove
gave
that
them.
I'm here?
I think you gave them plenty. It should be fine.
Okay. Because other people, when you go on Chat GPT and all places like that, they keep saying that it's very important to have the I-94, and maybe we should do a Freedom of Information Act asking for.
Well, ChatGPT scours the internet, and it includes information that was valid like 10 years ago. So I don't think there is no I-94 for a U.S. citizen. So you're fine.
Okay. So you think that all we gave is okay?
Yes.
One last question. Sorry, one last thing. Because I was actually thinking of driving to the airport to go ask if there's any way to see anybody and say, okay, you didn't stamp my passport. If there's any kind of record they could give. But you think that's overkill and I shouldn't bother trying to do that?
I think you should sit tight. I think you're good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for the call.
All right.
Bye, Angela. All
Thank
right.
you. Bye.
You got it. Let's go over. Let's see if Not So Sunny is back. Hello. Are you there, Not So Sunny? Going once. Going twice. All right. Out of here. Let's go to Stream Design. Hello. Stream Design, are you there? People, you got to be ready when I call you. All right. So I'm going to go to Callie and then Rain River. Callie, hello.
Hello, Jim. How are you doing today?
Good.
I have a question. I'm not sure if I have a case, so I'm gonna give you the information and you can tell me. Sorry, I'm a little nervous.
Oh, you're fine.
I came here when I was 2, so that was 1992. I didn't find out that I was undocumented until I was like 17, so 2007. I met my boyfriend, now my future husband, and he told me and pushed me to apply for DACA, because I was just scared. He gave me a number for a paralegal, and we contacted her, and we filed the DACA with her. The DACA got denied because we didn't have evidence. Oh, I didn't have evidence in 2012 that I was here in the country, because I had no job, I had no bank accounts, no nothing. We left it like that, and his mother got sick while we were dating, and so we got married because we wanted to make sure that she was here when we got married. We went through the court only, and she actually died in March of 2019. So after that, he was in a very bad place, and we started like picking up stuff back again, and we applied for a marriage-based green card in March of 2020. And that's when COVID hit and everything got closed down. When it reopened, my case, I'm in California, the case got taken to Chicago. In Chicago, we got a letter saying that they didn't receive a payment for them, and that we needed to send in an additional payment. We sent a letter with the evidence that they did get paid and that they did cash in the check. And we received a follow-up letter saying that they didn't need this because the case had been closed, and that if we wanted to know why the case was closed, we needed to request it. The paralegal then filed for our claim for our marriage-based green card again in I want to say July of 2023. It got approved with the same evidence. There was no additional evidence that we submitted in that case. So it got approved, and it got into the what's it called, National Visa Center, and it got documented approved in September in 2023. So now I'm just waiting on the 601A waiver, so that way they can schedule me for an interview in Juarez. My question to you is, can we file a lawsuit? Because again, I didn't know that. I just sorry, I'm just
Okay. Take your time.
I didn't know that this was a thing until I saw your videos. And I've been watching them for like a month, and I realized that I fucked up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, you can never go after a paralegal or a fake lawyer, a
No,
notary.
I know that for like I know I mean it is what it is with the paralegal.
Yeah.
Um but what my thing is if we can file a case with uh the immigration for them denying the claim in 2020, even though we already got it approved with the same evidence in 2023.
No, sweetheart, that ship has sailed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're just waiting right now on the 601A waiver.
Sounds like it. And so you entered without inspection, right?
Yeah, I came as a baby.
Yeah, that's too bad. As you know now, there's much easier ways for this all to have gone. It just didn't go the right way. I'm very, very sorry.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. And again, thank you for everything you do. Again, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly. Oh man, those are the most frustrating cases of all. When people miss out on DACA or miss out on, denying a case, saying they never got your checks. I mean, I would have sued them over that back then, but now 4 years have passed. It's too late now. So tough. So we got to educate everybody about what their rights are and educate everybody about the dumb things that USCIS does on a daily basis. All right, so let's go to Rain River. Hello.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you for this show.
Sure.
So I am on TPS Nepal, which expires in June 24, 2025.
Mm-hmm.
But the work permit expires on March 9 this month. So
Okay.
recently I applied for a travel document. I applied 20 months ago and I received it 2 months ago approved, but it says I-512L on it. It's approved for 5 years.
The travel document?
Yes.
Yeah, but you're not going to leave. Why would you ever leave the United States?
Well, I have been here for a long time, since 2001.
Yes.
But lately, I have made my mom wait for almost 6, 7 years. And I thought, would be a good time to go see her.
Mm-hmm. Well, you might not ever get back into the United States.
Yes, so that's why I'm calling to ask, well, that was kind of a little bit surprising that they gave 5 years of travel document,
Right, but we're not going to pay any attention to that because, I mean, you're asking me, is it a good idea for someone whose TPS is about to run out to leave the United States?
Yes.
I mean, what are you going to do at the end of your TPS? That's the bigger question.
Well, at this point, because I've been here for so long, I could probably go back to school, or, my fiance, she is also citizen, but I try not to think about that aspect, but that's also possible.
Okay, well, this is one of those situations where somebody's asking me a question about one thing, but they're totally not thinking about the other thing. So your TPS is running out. It's
Yes.
not going to be renewed. So that should be your primary focus. When you go see your mom is a totally different question. And if you have a fiance who you're planning on marrying, I don't know why you wouldn't want to think about that or look at that as an immigration option. It sounds like it's a real relationship. You've been together for a while, right?
Yes, 5 years.
Yeah. So if we know at the end of the day that I need to apply for something beyond my TPS, which is about to run out, I would go ahead and get married, file for the green card, and then again, I wouldn't leave till I got the green card. But if you have to leave on advance parole from the green card, not from the one that you have.
Yeah, that was another, I read somewhere that TPS advance parole is the only document that would allow you to enter even if you have another process pending. Is that true?
Say that one more time.
So usually, when you apply for adjustment of status, you
Yeah.
cannot leave until that's approved,
Yep.
unless except it is advance parole on TPS.
Yeah, but brother, I don't want you leaving till you have your green card, or at least your advanced parole on your green card application. You've been here a really long time. You've got a path to stay. You've got a path. Once you get your green card, you can go visit your mom every other month. But I don't want you to do it now.
Oh, okay. So, having had that long of a immigration history since 2001, does that help in any ways? If,
No, other than, I mean, you never claimed that you were a U.S. citizen, did you?
no, people know I'm not.
Okay, yeah, no, I don't think it helps or hurts. I mean, it's good that you've been here following the law, but I think I would get started on my marriage-based case as soon as I can.
And then if we decide to go that route,
Yeah.
if I apply and if there is an emergency, because it's not really, I feel so bad that I've made my mom wait, especially last 6 years,
Yeah.
If there is any sort of emergency, I could still take some kind of risk, right, in that situation.
I wouldn't want you to, but I guess you would.
Yeah. And if we have to get attorney, then we would have to write an email to you guys with the subject.
Call or email. Just call 314-961-8200 or email us. It's all there on the bottom of the screen. Just say, I want to get started on my fiance and my I-130 case.
Okay. And one last question. So if I had to leave before getting the green card, there is a chance they could let me back in, right? It's not.
You're thinking of it backwards.
Okay.
You should be thinking of it. There's a big chance they don't let me back in. And what am I going to do if I'm stuck in Nepal for the next 3 years? That's the question you should be asking yourself.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
See you, brother.
Yeah.
All right. This is the Immigration Answers Show coming to you live from our studio in St. Louis, Missouri. Hey, I was thinking, do you guys think we should build like a big old studio? I think we should build a big studio. What do you guys think? I think that would be fun. Let's see if we got any questions from the old TikTok. I haven't checked on Hina. What's she been up to? Yeah, she's been leaving us some questions. All right. First question from TikTok. Shan Marsh says, USCIS received my packet on the 4th. Does that mean they will reject the new I-45? The 4th? That was yesterday. They could. They're evil that way. Hopefully they won't, but they could. Monica Vila, if my husband is applying for citizenship, but I don't have legal status, could it affect him or me? Well, in ordinary times, no, Monica. But I think we have to ask ourselves now, if you're sitting in an interview and they're going through your naturalization application and they're told to ask, what's your spouse's immigration status? Do I think it's conceivable that they could notify ICE? I think it's conceivable. In other words, I think it's possible in this new land that we're living in. I've had plenty of interviews with naturalization cases where the spouse is out of status. Never been an issue. I was scared the first couple times. Never been an issue, but it could be now. And I am just simply saying, can one get a social security number when they get to the USA before adjusting their status? No, I don't think so. You get an ITIN number, but not a social security number. Doc Yami, I'm a U.S. citizen. My girlfriend's on a B1, B2 visit visa here in the U.S. Do I have to wait 90 days before I can marry her and petition her I-130 and 45? You have to wait at least 60 days. If you apply before, get married or apply or do anything before 60 days, you're going to have an immigrant intent problem. You got to make sure that your spouse didn't have, or your girlfriend had that intent. God's Green Earth. How do I submit an I-912 fee waiver for an I-192 form if the form is filed online? I have no idea. I don't work on fee waiver cases. Sorry about that, God's Green Earth. I don't know. All right. Let's go to Nene. Hello.
Hi,
How you doing?
I'm okay. Thank you, Jim.
Sure.
I do have a question for you. So there is a case of asylum that was filed,
Okay.
and somehow they made a mistake. At first, it went to the court. I'm not so sure why, but there was no final answer given, neither by approval or denial. And
Well,
then,
if it got sent to the court, that's a referral. That means that the asylum office denied it.
oh, I see. Okay, and then when it went to the court, when they send like a case, a date for the court, was very sick in a hospital, and then we sent all the documents saying that I was unable to attend, and then it was administratively closed.
Okay.
During that time, my mother got citizenship, filed for me, it was approved. However, it is complicated because the visa came back home.
Yep.
And I can't go because of the asylum case. If I go, basically, I am just dead.
Well, and you have a bar because you've been here out of status.
Correct. So my current lawyer, when I asked him, he said best thing to leave everything as it is. I feel I don't agree. I think there was a way of getting help, but I wanted to get your answer and see.
Why don't you trust your lawyer? I think your lawyer's right.
You do? You don't
Yeah.
think that the 601E waiver was a good thing to do?
Well, it sounds like you've been here a really long time, right?
Correct.
How long have you been here?
I would say 20 years or 25 years.
And so did you not file a 601 waiver at all?
No, I did not, because at the my mother wasn't citizen then. It was only the asylum case back then.
When did she become a citizen?
I can't remember.
Well,
I think it was 10 years ago.
So what I'm getting at is the time to file a 601 waiver was when Joe Biden was president. The time to find a 601A waiver now is not now.
Yeah, you're right. But the 601 waiver, I didn't get the case up. Like, she got citizen, but when she applied for me, it didn't come approved until when Joe Biden was in the thing. But they told me I have to wait for a visa. So when we were waiting for the visa approval came not that long ago.
Okay.
And then when it came, they asked me for forms. When I put in the forms, or when the visa came, we waited, and then they said, okay, you have an appointment in the consular back home.
Right. Because
I am sorry that I don't have much of dates, and I don't remember. Like, I went through a lot of medical issues.
Sure.
So small dates like that, I don't really recall.
So that's totally fine. So as of right now, you have an I-130 that was approved. How long ago was the I-130 approved?
I would say 4 years ago or more.
And it became current last year or 2 years ago?
Yes, I would say 2 years ago.
I wish that you guys would have filed the waiver before, and you might want to file one now. As of right now, I would listen to your lawyer.
Well, when I asked him about the waiver, it was back then in Biden times.
Okay.
So he's the one who said no. He didn't say anything about the waiver at all. He didn't even tell me there was such a thing as a waiver. Okay. He just said the best thing that I would leave it as it is right now, as administratively closed. And I said, okay, that wouldn't even help, even if I in the future got married. And he said, no, I don't think so.
How old is your mom?
My mother is 67.
And you take care of her?
I do take care of her.
Yeah. So I would say, if you want us to take a look at everything and not just talk on the phone like this, if you want us
Yeah.
to look everything over, we can. You can email it all to us if you have everything. But if you don't have everything, it's going to make it tough.
How about if I get what is it called? The FOIA?
Yeah, the FOIA. Yep.
Would that take long if I get it and then send you everything
Well,
to take a look?
you need the FOIA from USCIS, and you need to do a FOIA from the immigration court because you were in removal. So we need to see all of it.
Oh, okay. So even if it was administratively closed, I am in removal?
Correct.
Oh, I see.
And Trump's not going to let you out of Trump's people are told not to agree to terminate proceedings, right? So we gotta think it all through. Just let me know if you need help, okay, Nene? Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. Yeah, our office is Sanjay. We have offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. We're opening an office in Chicago, but immigration's federal, so we can handle stuff all over the country. All right. I'm going to do a little bit of teaching time because I want everybody to understand sort of what's going on with immigration. So on February 28th, they came out with a new memo. This isn't the memo that we're planning on suing them about. This is just a different memo. Okay. So everybody needs to pay attention. So this is a notice to appear. So hopefully you guys will never get one of these in the mail. This is what a notice to appear looks like. So up here at the top will be your alien number, your date of birth, your full name, your address, and then it'll say which reason why they think you should be deported, and then it'll have factual allegations. You know, you're not a U.S. citizen. You entered the United States from Honduras on such and such a day. You were supposed to leave and you didn't, and then here's the statutory provisions as to why you're removable, and then there's a notice of where your immigration court is located, what date you have, and what time you're supposed to be there. So that's a notice to appear, okay? So this is how the federal government, whatever agency it is, notifies you that you are in removal proceedings. So if you get a notice to appear, you're going to have a court date and you're going to have to defend yourself from deportation, okay? All right, so in this announcement on February 28th, this is what they said. USCIS is updating its notice to appear policy to address national security, public safety, and the overall integrity of our immigration system through enforcement of the INA, that's the Immigration and Nationality Act, against inadmissible and deportable aliens. Accordingly, USCIS will no longer, NTA is notice to appear. Accordingly, USCIS will no longer exempt classes or categories of removable aliens from potential enforcement, which includes referring cases to ICE and the issuance of NTAs. So what they're saying is USCIS is going to be sending a lot more notices to appear, okay? A lot more notices to appear. And they've clarified who's going to receive notices to appear. If you file an I-751 and it is denied or withdrawn, the beneficiary, the foreign national, is going to receive a notice to appear in deportation court. If your asylum status or your refugee status is revoked or terminated, you're going to get a notice to appear. If the cases are deemed to involve national security, you're going to get a notice to appear. If your TPS application is denied, you're going to get a notice to appear. Now, here's the big one. Can you guys still hear me? Somebody named Faisal says you guys can't hear me, that my video is paused. I don't think the video is paused. Can you guys see my slides? Let me know if you can hear me and see the slides, and I'll keep going. Okay. All right. Here's the big one. Any case in which the beneficiary lacks valid status. Any case in which the beneficiary lacks valid status, if the case is denied, you're going to immigration court. So you guys know that on this show, we talk to people all the time who don't have any valid status, or they're on their F1 visa, they marry a U.S. citizen, and they say, well, I'm not going to go to class anymore. I'm going to let my F1 visa, lapse. I'm going to let my CVIS record get revoked, right? So from now on, moving forward, as of February 28th, if you are out of status and you're applying for a marriage-based case or a 751, whatever it is, and you get denied, you'll receive your denial notice, and you will also receive a notice to appear in the immigration court. Does everybody understand what a big change that is? Right now, you guys, I talk to people all the time on this show. I had this one marriage back when, and it got denied. And now I've applied, and they said, well, that first marriage was fraud, and you're out of status. Those cases are all going to removal. So a lot more cases are going to be getting notices to appear. That's a huge category of people. Any case in which the beneficiary lacks status. You guys know that if you marry a U.S. citizen, your being out of status is forgiven, but that's only if your case is approved. So to me, this is a huge game changer. Also, if they find substantiated fraud or a material misrepresentation in the person's immigration history, so you know all those cases we talk about where somebody made a misrep on their visit visa to the United States, or like that the people we talked to yesterday where they said we're coming for one reason and they did another reason, that's a misrepresentation, that's material, you're going to removal, right? And then criminal cases. So USCIS will issue an NTA against removable aliens if they've been arrested, charged with, or convicted of a criminal offense if the benefit request is denied or withdrawn, unless they're subject to mandatory detention, then they're going to get grabbed, right? So it's a whole new thing now of who is going to be subject to deportation, right? So it's a whole, I think it's a game changer. It's the rules have changed. Everyone needs to understand how serious this is, how much more likely it is that if you mess up your case, if your loved one is out of status, they're going to immigration court. And obviously then you're fighting deportation. You're trying to bring your, get your spouse back into status, but it's going to be a big, big problem for a lot of people. So for all these people who call onto the show and say, yeah, Jim, I think I'm just going to try and do it myself. And then they make a mistake. Maybe USCIS says that mistake was a misrepresentation. It's going to be a big, big problem. Let's go to Thanks Mentor. Hello.
Hey, Jim, how are you?
Great. How are you doing?
Good, good. I have two quick questions. The first one is my mother-in-law came in 2017 with B2 visa and applied for asylum, and her asylum is pending. She hasn't had any interview yet. 7 years later, she married my father-in-law, 6 years apart from each other. So he also came under B2 visa and applied for asylum. My question is, should they notify you CIS or the marriage and merge their case, or keep their case separate?
I would notify them. They can both be derivatives on each other's case. I would notify them, and they can be added to each other's cases. I wouldn't withdraw anybody's case.
Can you hear?
He's breaking up. I don't know what's going on. Jimmy, hello.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. Okay. I've already got my 601A approved, and there was a question there that whether I have been arrested, and I don't know how I missed it, but I said no. But in reality, I was briefly detained in Canada, not here in the United States, in Canada where I used to live before. So, like, I don't know, like, will it come under misrepresentation, or do I let them know before they find out, or like, I just want your opinion on it.
What happened in Canada?
It was me and my wife got in an argument, and she got me arrested. But then the charges were dropped. Like there was no
So you
no
got
charges
brought
filed.
into the police station. So it was an arrest.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
So this is a real problem because you told USCIS that you had been arrested, or that you did not tell USCIS that you'd been arrested. But
Yeah.
when you get to the embassy, they might ask you that again, or they might know about it. So you're going to actually, I think, need to file another waiver.
Or can I just like let them know ahead and
You
like
could try.
explain them?
You could try to get them to reopen it. They've already approved it. I think it'll be almost impossible for them to actually reopen it. You might want to do both. You might want to do both. You might want to try to notify them and then give it a couple months. I wouldn't leave to go back home
Yeah,
until
that's right.
this is cleared up.
Okay. So I know my lawyer. She told me that we can explain it to them, but even she said it's really risky for you to leave and then get stuck there. So what's my best option? Like I can like I won't leave until like will I have like any definitive answer like in a couple of months time, or will take years as it took me for 601A?
I
Like how
think
do I?
that, well, like in their mind, they've finished their work. So to get them to reopen the case and consider what you sent them, like I think there's a 90% chance they just never do it.
Okay. So I should just honestly I don't even know what to do. So I should just explain them at the interview, or you think that is like it's very risky?
I think if you explain in the interview, they're not going to let you come back in the United States.
Okay.
That's why you got to
So
take care of it before you go.
okay, and how do I do that? I'll know because my lawyer said he like I can just explain it to them at the interview. So that's why I was like,
Yeah, but what if they say no? You can't come back.
yeah, I know. So
I mean, let's play it out. If you had told them about the arrest, they might not have given you the waiver.
you're right, but there was no charges on me though, nothing like that. It was just
Yeah,
like
but now in their mind, you've lied to them.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's what they're gonna think no matter. Yeah. So
I think you got to
I don't
notify them in
know.
writing and let go and see what happens. Good luck, Jimmy. All right, let's go back to TikTok. Pamela says, "What if a man marries a woman, divorces her, and now in the USA, can he marry a man?" Oh, it says, "Don't read this out loud. Laugh out loud. I swear it's a real question, not making it up." Pamela, we've had those cases get approved, is what I'll say, and we actually just filed another one, so those are approvable. Definitely approvable. Can I write my name as the preparer on USCIS forms in Pennsylvania trying to help my relative file his form? Yes, you can. But you should get a lawyer to help you, not to help them, not you. USCIS says they can't verify U.S. citizenship with a U.S. passport. I acquired citizenship from my dad at 17. That's why you need to do an N600, Peter and Junior. You got to do the N600. You got to FOIA all that stuff. You got to prove that up. And that's the problem with people who don't go ahead and do the N600. They just rely on their passport. Sometimes they fall in love and they want to sponsor someone, and then USCIS is like, we don't think you're a citizen. J17, is it true that now marriage-based green cards will all need interviews? That's probably coming, J17. We haven't seen the notice announcing that yet, but we will definitely talk about it on the show if it happens. EK is my. If I overstayed and got 10-year green card with stamp on entry, will I have issues when I apply for the N400 in the year 2026? Most likely no. That the fact that you got the green card sort of cleans all that up, and you should be fine, but you might want to talk to a lawyer before you file. All right. Let's go to Jay Johnson. Hello. Jay Johnson.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Jim. How are you?
Great.
Thanks. I'm doing good too. Well, I'm a little nervous. Sorry.
Oh, don't be nervous. It's just us. What's
Okay.
up?
I called a while back, but I didn't have as much information as I needed, so I had to call back and again.
Okay.
So my my husband entered the country on a B2, and he's from El Salvador. I don't know if you remember that call.
I don't, sweetheart. Sorry.
Okay, cool. So he's from El Salvador. He got married in Mexico. They got divorced, but while they were married, that's how he obtained his visa to enter the U.S. And so he got an American visa, came here back in 2021.
A visit visa?
Yes,
Okay.
and they did the D60 or something like that. So they did all that. He came here. He lost it, and
Lost what?
he lost his visa.
Did he ever get his green card?
No.
Okay,
So right.
this is strange because you're saying that he got a visit visa, but you're also saying he filled out a DS-260. A DS-260 is for an immigrant visa, which if he's married to a U.S. citizen is what he would have been applying for. So I think it's sort of jumbled up.
No, not the 260. It was some. I don't know if I have the number right. Like a D60 or D160 or something like that.
DS-160. Okay, so
Yeah.
he got a visit visa. Okay, and then he
Yeah.
lost.
Yes, he lost it not long after he got here. And knowing him as my husband now, I totally see him losing it because he loses everything. And now I keep all his documents.
Oh, so
But
you're saying you don't have any proof of his entry.
right. So we've been talking to a lot of different lawyers. I'm trying to take my time to get the right one. I think I finally found one. We're supposed to sign a contract next week. And the first thing we're going to do is try to get proof of his entry.
Yeah, of course. That's the whole shooting match.
Yeah. So we're praying that we can find it. There's different steps. I heard you talk about the FOIA. I've also heard about fingerprints. The lawyer that we're talking to, he says that the UCIS is not really paying attention to fingerprint requests. So he says we're going to do it anyway, but he's also going to file other forms to see if we can get some proof, because if he actually did enter correctly, there should be something there. And if we get that, then we'll go ahead to the marriage-based green card process.
What does he say as far as the entry itself? Did he fly here or did he drive?
He didn't fly. He said he was on a some kind of bus.
This all sounds squirrely to me.
Whirly?
Mm-hmm.
Which the part that because of how he got here?
The part
because
that
he didn't fly?
part that he had a visa.
Oh. I'm nervous because I believe him, and I believe he believes that he got here correctly because how his mind works, but he's not the brightest bulb and he's easily scammed. And there's been so many scammer people on TikTok, and he watches a lot of TikTok, and they're like, I'll charge, $1,200 to fix your papers. I'll charge this to fix this, and I'll charge that. And I've had to show him that these people are, they're lying to you. There's not real. This is not a real account. So he's not able to discern very well. So I'm hoping that back then he wasn't scammed himself, because he is adamant that he did everything the way he was supposed to, and he came across here with a valid visa.
When do you think he entered?
2021 in December.
Well, that wasn't that long ago. So the DS-160, if he actually did one, should be findable. What about, you said, does he, so filling out a DS-160, you have to sit at a computer. It's not like the old days. You could do it on paper. So does he remember sitting down and filling it out, or did his wife do it for him, or what?
He was with his wife and some agent that helped do that with him. And that's the person he called to ask which documents he filled out. And that's what he told me. He said he came on a B1, B2.
See, that sucks, because I bet you $10 what those form fillers, those visa people do. And here's why I asked, is they use their email address for the stuff to come instead of his email address, because otherwise he could look up you get email confirmations from the National Visa Center when you fill out the DS-160. So that probably went to the attorney, the fake attorney, the form filler. And so that's what I was hoping, that there might be something, even a case number. Is he in contact with his ex-wife?
Yes.
I would, if I were you, I would get the two of them on a call and just beat the crap out of them, trying to figure out as much as you can about where his passport is, or where his anything you can about the visa.
Okay. That's what I'm trying, because I feel like in my heart that if it's not valid, he got scammed.
Yeah, I think if he came across on a bus, there's probably no record from CBP, and I wonder whether he had status at all. So good luck.
Okay, thank you, Jim.
See ya. Yeah, that was funny. Somebody said, let's see, why are people calling Jim but then hiring a different attorney? Isn't that funny? I don't know why people do that. It's interesting. Let's go to Pal. Hello, Pal. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Barely.
How about now?
That's much better. Thank you.
How are you doing, man?
Great. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. Hey, so My wife and I were going to file the I-751 soon, and I am looking at the form right now.
Okay.
So in part 1, there's a mailing address and there's a physical address. Now,
Yeah.
we live together. So currently, our mailing address and our physical address is one and the same.
Good.
If after we file for the I-751, one of us moves due to a job change, is it very difficult for USCIS to follow up with that?
Well, first off, who's going to move, the citizen or the non-citizen?
Non-citizen.
And this will be after the 751 is on file.
Yes.
Okay. And like, is this for a job that can't be done in the town where the person lives with their spouse?
It could. It's a longer. The commute will be pretty long potentially.
No, but what I mean is, what like sometimes people say, Jim, I need to live in a different city than my spouse, and I say, well, what kind of job is it? And they say, oh, it's for Uber. You could do that anywhere. So does this job have to be done in the other town? Is what I'm asking.
Yes, the answer is yes.
Okay. And how far a drive?
1.5 hours.
And so what would be the non-citizen would then what, get an apartment?
Yes.
Everything else is okay with the marriage other than this?
Yes, absolutely.
So the problem that you want to avoid is, let's say that you file the 751 saying we're both living in St. Louis, and then the foreign national gets a job in Columbia, Missouri, which is about 100 miles away. And so then they start living there, and they're there, and then one morning USCIS fraud unit shows up at the mailing address you gave them, and they notice that the foreign national isn't there. They notice that a lot of their stuff isn't there, and then they start getting suspicious. So what I'm saying is, if you're going to do this, you've got to notify them in big writing that I'm going to work on at this office in Columbia, Missouri. I will be getting a small apartment. Here's my new address. And then I would send them in writing with, I'm going to go back every Saturday and Sunday, or my spouse is going to come see me every Saturday, Sunday. This is how long we're going to do this. This is what the plan is. And these are the days that I'll be in St. Louis. And these are the days that I'll be in Columbia, so that it's completely transparent. And then you got to send them, you got to keep proof that you delivered it to them, because what you don't want is that scenario that I just said, where they can act like, oh, well, you never told us that you were living apart and we think this is fake.
I see. Okay, that's one scenario played out. Let's restart for a second. So going back to part 1, mailing address and physical address.
Yeah.
Right now we're staying together. Let's say we continue to stay together, and I do the 1.5 hour commute from where I am right now.
Yeah.
Is it okay to change the mailing address to my aunt's place, but keep our physical address where we physically are right now, where we sleep at night? So the mailing address will be where USCIS sends the new green card to my aunt's place, which I know is 100% safe.
Maybe. I mean, that's the only reason, is because you're worried about the green card not getting delivered. That's
that's one reason. And if the scenario where I move for a job, I will follow exactly what we discussed in scenario 1. But yes, it's just safer if the green card goes to my aunt's place. Yes.
Here's what I'll say. I'll make a grand declaration for everybody watching. I think you have more to risk by monkeying around with mailing addresses than the risk of having your green card not delivered to the right place. I think that you're setting yourself up for unnecessary hassle by interjecting Auntie's address into the whole mix. Then you do whatever the small chances you don't get your green card.
I get that,
actually, you'll probably get your citizenship before you ever get your 10-year green card anyway.
That may be true, but then the other thing is, it's like saying, okay, because USCIS is notoriously slow, so like, do we have to stay in the current apartment we are in until we either get the green card first or citizenship first? Like we're bound to this current department till one of those things come true. Is that correct?
No, but I understand the point that you're making, and I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that like legally no, but maybe effectively yes, right? Like, I mean, to me, this is not to make a plug for using an attorney, but this is a great reason to use an attorney, because if you use the attorney, you have it all sent to that address. But other than that, I mean, I just think if you start throwing around auntie's address, then that might be the address that they go to knock on the door at 5 a.m, and that's what I don't want. Even though it says mailing versus physical, they're not that subtle.
Okay. I mean, the safest route, which I know you would advocate for, given you're a lawyer, would be just stay where we're at in the physical.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. And then another part of the I-751, it says, have you ever been arrested, detained, charged, indicted, fined, or imprisoned for breaking or violating any law or ordinance? Would I have to say yes if I got traffic tickets for that, even though I disclosed that in the original green card, the original I-485?
Yep.
Okay, but it says, sorry, I just realized it says in brackets excluding traffic regulations. So like for speeding, is that a traffic regulation?
It is. I would still disclose it. There's no downside to disclosing it.
Okay. I'll be transparent. So with any speeding tickets I got, anything and everything, I will disclose it all over again.
Yep.
Okay. And children, no. Physical address, no.
I got one more thing for you.
Yeah, of course.
So, if you go live in this other city, that's going to screw up your 3-year naturalization, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, now that that's a very good point you brought up. So do we have to do all the math in terms of the number of nights my wife and I stayed together at night in the same apartment to do the 3-year rule? Because like there have been some days where I went on a work trip, or when we moved apartments over here, I moved before her. So we have to do all that analysis and calculate the exact precise number of days we slept in the same bed together for the 3-year rule.
I would say if a couple has been together for 3 years and they generally live together, they don't have different residences, then you don't have to present such a chart. But if you're going to try to avail yourself of the 3-year rule and not just wait for the full 5 because it's easier, and you do have big chunks where you're living apart, then you do have to prove up the actual days it's actually counting.
I see. Okay. And then very last question. With Trump in office, doing the I-751 or the citizenship, the 3-year rule citizenship, I'm just a little worried because I don't want to be separated from my wife or anything bad happens. So do you have any advice on how to deal with the current administration?
As far as what?
Just in general, like when I do these 2 forms when the time comes, like anything in particular you can advise on?
No, just make sure you prove up that 751. A denied 751 is one of the reasons why they said they're going to send people to deportation court. So just make sure you win your case.
Oh, that's okay. That's a little okay, I understand. Perfect. Thank you for everything, Jim.
Bye, pal. See you, man. Yep. I think we probably have a couple more questions over on TikTok. Yes, we do. What's going on with the new registry Trump wants to impose? Well, anybody who's here out of status is supposed to register with the government. The plans and the procedures have not been announced. Stay tuned to this channel and we'll give you more details later. What are the chances of your case being approved if you've filed your taxes late more than once? If you're talking about citizenship, you got to be on a payment plan. If you're talking about a green card, it'll probably be approved, but you should, again, show that you're working things out with the IRS. I have a 10-year green card. If I was a passenger in a DUI arrest, is it safe to travel? I would say yes. 8677. Are the 601 cases for misrepresentation that your firm are currently handling taking 30 plus months? Yes, indeed. H677. Kingdom. I did everything. I got requests for initial evidence, requests for I-864. What should I do? Those are tricky because they won't tell you what's wrong with your I-864. So you probably need to have a lawyer look it over if you think you did it all right. How do I get into deportation so I can file 42B? Super clown. I would never. ever tell someone to get into deportation so that they can file for cancellation. All right, everybody, that'll do it for today's show. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm traveling. Oh yeah, we're gonna do a late show tomorrow, 4:00 Central tomorrow from Chicago. God willing, I will be in Chicago at 4 tomorrow, and we'll do a show. Listen, if you want to get in the waiting room, text the word show to 314-470-3300. Hina, we should wait to send out the text tomorrow until we know I'm in the room safely, because if I can't get in the room, there's no show. Have a great day, everybody. Have a good night. We had 703 people at time of closing, so that's pretty exciting. I hope you all have a great night, and we'll see you mañana. Thanks, Hina.
I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.